have copy of the papers regularly in the morning. Yes, then our next stop have to do with the Inquirer newspaper, the front page of the Inquirer. Labour denies over 60 non-Liberians work permit. Um, I'm seeing Labour Minister here, Councillor Kubakra. Labour denies over 60 non-Liberian work permits. The Minister of Labour is here. Liberia reconnects to one China policy. It's a lovely story on the front page of the Inquirer newspaper. Let's see if I can go to the back page. All right, the back page. What the back page have? The back page of the Inquirer. Cocoa Park workers want management out. I'm seeing some flashback photos like on protest here. Cocoa rubber plantation are calling on the government through the office of the vice president to replace its current management team. Well, Superintendent Cole Gono reported the tension is brewing at the plantation. It's a major story on the back page. Grab a copy of the Inquirer newspaper and read the rest of the story. Finance debunks corruption in budget management system contract. Well, the Minister of Finance is here, Bona Kamara. Let me just zoom this. Finance debunks corruption in budget, okay, management system. All right, grab a copy and read the rest of the story this morning. Cultivate culture of development. VP Kun encourages lawmaker. The vice president, Jeremiah Kwankun, is captured with the district number 7 lawmaker Musa Hassan Belete during the dedication of the famous Ya River Bridge. Well, cultivate culture of development. VP Kun encourages lawmaker. And of course, then our last stop this morning have to do with the New Republic. Yeah, let's get to the New Republic, the front page. What the front page is reporting. Rice Ghost Hans Buckeye. It's a major story on the front page of the New Republic. Well, rice goes Hans Buckeye as his administration struggles to control rice importers. Well, the president of Liberia, Joseph Boyka, is captured here on the front page of the New Republic. Still on the front page, LRA6 physical autonomy. Well, I'm seeing the LRA boss is captured here on the front page. Double Jala is right here, LRA6 physical. Well, to boost revenue reform, still on the front page, Ministry of Health launches task force to probe missing donated drugs. Eh? Missing donated drugs. Wow. Hmm. Hmm. Let's go to the back page, yeah. Yes, we'll wait to see. Let's see. Let's go to the back page. What the back page have? The back page features wide fronts on trading social media posting on purported wire materials. Well, the wire bus die bottle. That bottle is captured here on the back page of the New Republic. He's been working very, very hard. Hard working that bottle of wire is captured here. Meanwhile, the 12th grader ends their exams on tomorrow.
Well, it runs up to
Next week?
up to the 4th.
The 4th of June.
June.
Okay.
They do it 2 in a week, 3 in a week.
Okay.
Yeah, that's how the schedule run now.
Okay. Yes, I will stop Joseph Boyka lawmakers from going to work. If my man pop up here again, Representative Safoko. The man who said he is going to die for Joshua. Is that possible? I said to Sir, tell you, I said, Sir, you know the thing he's saying? It's not possible. One of his interviews, he said, I'll die. Anyway, he said, I will stop Joseph Boyka lawmakers from going to work. If Representative Focus threatened. It's been captured here on the back page of the New Republic. Police officer sent to jail. It's a sub-lead story here for allegedly attempting to murder a woman. Yes, on the back page of the New Republic. Thanks to all of the editors. Thank you so much for making the papers available to us. It's rainy. It's not easy. Yes, let me just say this. It's rainy. It's not easy. For our guys in the print media, the struggle to sell during the rain season. And we on radio, we manage some way somehow. I mean, to get this job going. All right. So I mean, all of our technical sounds and thing, our technicians are working here in the background, going through a lot this morning. But anyway, you don't know it all. Yes.
So doing circumstances, people get affected though. So the rain is falling out. The guys that sell the paper, that's the time the business will move very, very slow.
Very slow.
Oh my God.
Yeah. Very slow. And some of the papers will print like 1,000 copies. Yes, you have to sell. So The Flavor will do once we do the headline on air for them. That's why most of the editors will send the papers to us. Yes, with the headlines catching up, you want to get a copy and read. And how much the paper sells for? $40, $50. It can even sustain that media institution, that print media. So we want to appeal to government. Yes, I'm seeing a lot of things in our chat room, our media chat room. We're appealing to government. We need advertisement to be run on the radio and in the newspapers, right? Because we all pay taxes to government. You push me, I push you. We all lift the government stories up. But nowadays, the social media makes a good thing, but it's just like 2 or 1%. All of the government institutions will just take this layer and just post it on Facebook or whatsoever and leave the rest of it. So you find out there are some newspapers will just publish for a day in a week.
Yeah.
Some of them will publish 3 times in a week.
Yeah.
Not many newspapers publishing from Mondays to Friday. It's not possible.
2-3 times in a week.
In a week.
Yeah.
Just in a week. Because why? They have to pay the staff, right? You have to pay for print. The production cost, that is it. It's not something easy. And now on the radio too, we want to appeal. Let me say this one. Media institutions, both the electronic and the print media, we don't have more advertisement. We don't. And in the majority, it's coming from the government angle. The Ministry of Finance, when last we heard a public service announcement, for example, coming out from the Ministry of Finance. Even the PPCC that came in yesterday morning for bidding, we should get it here on the radio. It should be published in newspapers, right? Because at the end of the day, if you are giving us contract, let me just say this out. LRA have a contract with some media institutions, right?
Yeah.
Before payment is done, you have to show a flag business receipt. Is that it didn't work, right? Show a flag business receipt that you have paid all government revenue before any payment is made to you. And this is how it worked. Otherwise, even in the modern world, in the Western world, media institutions are last will crumble. So,
yeah.
So let's move on and make this up. Don't get, for example, water and sewer. If the water plant will go down and you post on your Facebook, that is just 1% of our population hearing the information. But when you run it on the radio,
so I strongly believe that those are government and agency, the ministry, the communication department, different areas need to wake up, especially when it comes to getting information out to the public. As I said, most often they take out the social media, and I do see the people to be sending as a record. Sometimes Facebook, you just see a pass, you pass by it, but going through the papers, it helps to as a record too.
Most of our people don't read.
Yeah,
we don't.
The radio, getting it out to the system.
It helps.
It helps a whole lot.
It helps a whole lot. And let me say this: there are some institutions you will hear about that, and there are professional public relations office or PRO at more government ministry autonomous agency. But you know what? They don't empower the PROs. Let me just pick a point for media colleagues this morning before we go to our main talking point, right? You don't empower your public relations. It's a very sad thing. Even if you take Maka, you take Augustine, you take O'Neill, and you attach us to Maritimes, you attach to the Minister of Finance and thing. You know what happened to us? We'll just be in our office. It just cannot work. But the public will not hear the kind of working because the issue of public relations is doing good and letting the public to know. And how do you let the public to know? It's by empower the public relations. When the last time we got a PR from the LDA? My man, I'm talking for you. Even our dear sister Cecilia Clara go to the LNP.
I think the man said resigns.
Yeah. Yeah, before we go there, let me speak for our journalists, our colleagues, our media colleagues. I know you guys go through a lot. There are some of them, you reach out to get the information and say, yeah, chief, we won't talk about, it's not easy, that government in. But I'll get to the boss. So, look, those of you bosses who are listening, empower your proper relations to lift the institution up.
Very difficult to even get information from the PRO. Sometimes you place calls to the guys, O'Neill, your call will bounce back. Sometimes they say, "Oh, I will get back to you." It's because their offices is not really informed. It's not empowered.
So
Yeah.
my head just went to public relations quickly, right? So I heard that the LDA public relations said have resigned.
Mm.
The last time I heard Gipley speaking, Michael Gipley, was almost 6 or 7 months ago.
Okay.
Yes. So okay, someone just sent me a resignation letter. Anyway, he did it through social media. But it's a very sad thing. Even in the midst of public relations for your political party, you can empower your mouthpiece.
Mm.
Huh? If you make, like for example, the MPP tried to rebrand. Before, look, this whole sector of our society is a sad thing. Someone go to school and learn, and they, you see yourself that you want to do this, but you have been held back. Look at MPP, for example. MPP trying to rebrand that political party who's won, took our presidency, in this country.
Yeah.
They're trying to rebrand. You saw the familiar faces, the big names, but go look at the PRM for MPP crying.
Even since that program, since
That's what I'm saying. It's not that the public relations don't want to do the job. The public relations, in the majority in the country, you put them somewhere, they just wait for the regular. Look, my former professor, peace to his ashes, Ahaji GV Kroban, all right, he taught us public relations. The essence of PR was like doing good and letting the public to know the public relations. All right. When the last time you did the PR for JFK, the communication for JFK, the communication for the Ministry of Health. I will test everywhere this morning. The communication here for Ministry of Health. When last you heard him? Health Ministry, Ministry of Education, Water and Sewer. You don't empower your proper relations. You take O'Neill off the air, you take Baka off the air, attaching somewhere. He or she will just be stuck there.
Yep.
You see yourself as a professional person, and you put in some things to the table that will bring and sell the institution well, huh? But you have the boss who feels that your department is not nothing. Just go get a newspaper and drop it down on his desk. Even some of them say when you do your monthly report, they won't even read it. Your challenges and what do you suggest to solve the problem, they won't even go through it. Look, I feel sorry for most of our PRs. These are our media colleagues.
What's the update from the National Archive or the PR?
Aka Honor George, where Emmanuel Lomax was one of the best. All right. I've not come across the new Aka boss, right?
Yeah.
The PR section was so effective. Even some of them have their media programs,
They are fighting hard to maintain that program.
Yeah, inside the archive, inside this, we bring you this hour, that hour. You make the institution so effective. Look, Joseph Boyka will replace most of you. Let me just say, if you don't know Joseph Boyka, let me just say this out. Look, I interviewed Boyka. I look in the face of Joseph Boyka. I look in his eye. Looking Boyka eye. Looking into 1 hour. No interruption. And I look at the kind of man I said, well, the day Boyka start to dismiss, those of you have crippled your PR arms. You rumble at the exec. Look, see librarians running to the mansion for jobs. Let me just say this out. You cry for a job. You're on the puppet neck, choking him for jobs. Not breathing in, not breathing out. Got appointed. Going to 4 to 5 months now. You have crippled the whole PR. No PR strategies. You know why? Because you're looking in a direction. You thinking how to protect your job. Look, you'll be replaced. You like it or not. You're not born there. You're not born to be Minister of Finance forever, right? You're not born to be on a serious note. So when you are head an institution, leave a legacy. Oh yeah, this was the former mayor. Okay, this is how some of you feel so embarrassed or even move on in the community, and that's a fact about it. Anyway, yes. Good morning. Thank you to our guys in the public relations. Keep your dreams alive. We hope that the bosses will start to turn and look at the Roberts International Airport, for example. The RIA. Look, the peace of the country starts from the airport. If you want your country to be stable, Don't trip up the airport. Ellen Johnson will tell you, say, look, I mean, let's leave that airport. You don't trip over it. When last we hear anything about the Ravels International Airport? All Gerald Mensgo does is just go to work, go inside, come out. We don't know no operation. That airport now, when you touch that at RRA is the owner airport. I think Martin was working on that. Anyway, they replaced Martin. Yeah, Martin is working on that. RRA is the only international airport that when you go there, no Wi-Fi. I mean, no internet. Look, when a foreigner comes in your country, the first thing you have access to what? The internet. To connect is free. That is free. I mean, we have to be innovative. Your cry for position. Look, good morning, His Excellency. Good morning to my President Buckeye. Good morning to you, Joseph Buckeye. Buckeye, good morning to you. Don't relent. You don't want to judge without weakness. In his past 6 years, he didn't did a major reshuffle. And IT crippled George Weah. Look, George did some good work. George Weah has some fingerprint, although the corruption was just an era. But let's talk so. He has a great. But one of the major thing that crippled George Weah, the reshuffle thing. Some people in the street says, yeah, we're all touching it. They were untouchable. My President Joseph Boyka, don't relent. Otherwise, else we'll remember nothing of you. There are others who cry. Look, people ran to the mansion back and forth. Some sat for 3-4 hours. Y'all know the thing I'm saying is true this morning. Your cry for a job in this country. Your send text messages, WhatsApp messages, begging back and forth. Okay, granted, yes, you have it now. Do the will of the people.
Spend your whole time at the president's house.
My man.
From morning to night.
I'm saying this to Joseph Boyka. Yeah. Don't relent, right? George said that thing. They had the first half player and the second half player. He didn't live up to it. So if our coach, I will sack George Weah and well, of course, like people replace him, right? Yeah, because I burned the first half and seeing nothing coming from him. Why is they keeping me on the field? And he said that the first half player and the second half player. I'm saying to Joseph Boyka. Now you president. Before then, you were standard bearer. You are what? You are president now. The president is the president. Your decision is your decision. Those who will not work effectively get out of your team. Otherwise, else the country will not be rescued. Let's move on to the issue of who replaces Justice in Chambers, the late Joseph Nangwe, peace to his ashes. And I'm seeing this continual call now to the president, His Excellency. Good morning. There is this vacancy at the Supreme Court branch to complete that.
Okay.
Yes. So John Lafayette Greeks. It has been a very long time since the death and funeral of Justice Nangwe. Good morning, His Excellency. There are some things you put. Look, we're a member of the Fourth Estate. We can be opposition. We can't use our platform to bring the country down. No, we can love other country more than our own country. So the important things that we'll bring and tell our president, and he will listen. If you don't listen, then Liberian Pool 2029 will be a different thing. But His Excellency sent passing, I mean, it has been very long now to replace George Dangwe. Thereby, there is a vacancy on the Supreme Court branch, yet needs to be occupied, which lies in the exclusive authority of the president. Since the passing, there's a vacancy there, and that lies on your executive power. Well, in my mind, given the importance of the Supreme Court is so important, Ansu. The Supreme Court. That's why when you see some country where military take over, you know the reason why. The army is there to defend the land, the Constitution. So when you triple the Constitution, so the army get back. So the Supreme Court is so important to constitutional governance. It's about time that the president think about a qualified Liberian lawyer to fill this vacancy at the Supreme Court bench. So, I mean, there are a couple of names.
There are some names.
There are a couple of names. My man, when Sarah Benson was going to be, I mean, it was no secret, right?
Okay.
We saw it on the social media popping in back and forth, although, it met stiff resistance, but she was clear and the rest of it. Now, I mean, she's moving, making some progress, So there is this name, John Lafayette Greeks. for the 7 years of professional service at George. John Lafayette agrees. Yeah, it's another day. But I'm calling on the president, President Boycott, please, with your executive power, as part of your RS agenda, the rule of law. We need the rule of law to be strengthened more. Yes, let's move on
And I
more.
want the best itself this morning. You all
Mm.
did only by even picking the person's attention.
Yeah, me remind the
Yeah,
president. Remind the president. Our president have to do.
yeah.
Mr. President, good morning again. You pay a visit to Western Cluster. Look, what kind of country is this? When Musa Belete talk, they say Musa still in the show. No, Musa is not still in the show. Musa is doing just what he needs to do for the Liberian people. The president cannot pass somewhere, and Western Cluster, despite the communication was sent to them by the Ministry of Public Works, guess what? They're now working at night. I mean, what sort of country is this? Put hot to your work. If you still want to continue, this activity, this working you're doing in Bomi County, folks build their own railroad. But Western Cluster now, Mr. President, good morning to you. Maybe the Minister of Public Works. Yeah, Giddings a little bit, basically, the other side of the road front too, crying that Giddings have not interfering. He don't want the road front here to move for Kesudo to take over. But Mr. President, I'm going to see if I can get the president voice. They big interview date. You remember the president visited Swamaka, the Western Cluster, right? The people are working heavily at night. Can you imagine this? Where in the world a certain government will tell a company, hot, put a stop, receive communication. Guess what? At midnight, operation is going on. This is what happening. This is what exactly happening, Mr. President. I'm trying to see if I can get our president voice. Yes. I mean, this is very, very, very sad. While I try to get that audio, again to the Liberian National Police, the LMP, thank you for your operation. I mean, our traffic now is getting that respect. I know it's on the 5 or 80% yet.
At least.
Yes, I mean, gradually
we are hitting point.
We're hitting a point to make our progress. Yes, but we have observed something and I decided to bring this to the attention of the Liberian National Police. Again, government should try to make some buses available. The issue of transport, our people struggle a whole lot. Some walk for a very far distance to get to where they're going. They should make a vehicle, the NTA used to be looking like a park garage. You can count 10 buses to that transit authority, but Mr. President, not the president, but the police, the commercial drivers are now taking 4 in the back seat. So are we going back to the 4 in the back seat? 4 passengers in the back seat and 2 in the front seat. This is
what is driving been operating for long?
No, now quadruple. Yes, 4 in the back, 2 in the front.
2 in the front.
Yes, 4 in the back, 2 in the front. For the back, 4 in the back is a little bit, yes, it's reasonable because of the condition we're in now. Yes, I want to say that the police, but for 2 in the front, I mean, in terms, maybe if you have an accident or whatsoever, it could cause a serious problem. But not for 2 in the front. But at least you can do a 4 in the back, right?
Yeah.
For now.
Yes.
And I want to say thanks to the cyclists for buying. The motorcyclists, at least they are buying by the rule of law.
And to have this operation smoothly going on as you said, to have this NTA buses out, and I think it's what government need to start working on. When setting up such a basis, when it comes to operation, trying to put down some restriction, you have to put in some things in order. Try to get some the NTA buses on. Our people walk. The people walk at even hour during the even hour. You see people walking from Central Monrovia crossing that Gabriel Tucker Bridge, going to the Vat Time, the Clara Time. You see people walking from Central Time heading to Sinker. So let's see how best we can get. I think the buses, there's a few in there can stay there.
Yeah,
can stay move. So,
so no way to worry. works at night. Before they used to take like 10 load of truck. Now they are making it up to 15, 20.
Mm-hmm.
So let's clear all we're supposed to clear just in case.
Yeah.
Yes, yes. So here's the president visit to the swap marker.
Let me tell you, you don't lose the region. You lose those regions, it will be we're not going to sit here because
What the?
I went on the field because that is not mining. They're just taking our resources. We get no reward for it. I told him, I better tell them, I'm going to sit here to take our resources. If they want to damage that. Minister, let me tell you, you don't lose the region. We're not going to sit here because I went on the field because that is not mining. They're just taking our resources. We get no reward for it. I told him how to get it now. I better tell them. I'm going to sit here to take our resources. If they want to damage that.
Okay, yeah. So yeah, you're right.
Very clear.
Yes, very, 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 very loud
Very,
and
very
clear.
clear.
Yes, they're taking. They're going to close down, and as we speak, this mining company is working at night. Anyway, yes, let's pick some calls up. This is the Truth Breakfast Show. 21 minutes down. 8 o'clock at 8:30 this morning. We'll bring on Fandala. Fandala Patrick. Patrick will be our guest this morning on the first segment of the TBS 96.1, the heart and soul of Liberia. Bill of us, we're going through a lot this morning with our main studio in here. But in the meantime, let's pick some calls up. 0777 285-961. This is the Breakfast Show. My name is Oni Roberts. Maka Davis is on a 2 weeks break. Yes, I think he deserves it.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, haven't worked for almost 4 years. Yeah. It may so he'll leave. So maybe when he's coming there, I'll be going to. Anyway, yes, as Ansu is here with me. Let's pick our very first caller this morning. Let's do a mini per call, please. Good morning. Good morning.
And let me say good morning to the many listeners and viewers following the broadcast this morning. My name is Aloysius P. Flomo Jr., and I currently join the discussion from District 1 in Mount Saguaro County. Well, let me appreciate you and the team for the level of work you continue to do for the Liberian people. That is bringing out those information geared towards the developmental track of this country. Like you said, I have interest in an issue that has to do with the airport. It is the country's only international airport, Veteran O'Neill. And when you have visitors or you have foreigners entering the country, this is where they will determine the status of your country as to whether it is on par with other countries. But currently, the Ramos International Airport, I think the president needs to look in the direction and do some completion when it comes to the workings there. Even when it comes to position, there are still vacant position over there that's making the operation of the airport incomplete. Like the last time I spoke about the technical service area, that position still vacant. And I think the president need to look in the direction of appointing a technical director at that particular position so as to make the operation of the airport more proactive. And I think our leaders need to be innovative.
Okay.
Java H. Mexico, you were appointed to that position to see how best transformation can come at that airport. But if you just sit and go to office without doing the workings that the president deserves, I think will not be a good sign for our country.
Thank you.
For having me this
Thank
morning.
you. Thank you. My finger, Ansu.
Mm.
I mean, the president listen. I mean, he's listening. The complaints that will be coming. Praga will replace. You should not be hesitate. I mean, to replace these officials.
Yes.
Yes. I mean, all of why else. This yeah, you heard me with the presidential press secretary yesterday, right? No business as usual. It will be business as usual. Because if I'm the boss, I'm just sitting back. Those who to execute, when I find out they are not doing it, I mean, I'm not going to succeed from the top. You can bring the best coach, bring Jose Mourinho to Lone Star. If you don't have the caliber of players, I mean, all of the games you play, they'll whip the team. Because the people we expect to do the job, they're not doing it. Anyway, yes, let's pick more calls up. This is a TBS. Good morning. Morning, please be audible. Morning, go ahead. So, about what? Yeah. Mm-hmm. Why the NTA, the National Transit Authority? I mean, we can have an individual having bosses, but what becomes of the National Transit Authority? Okay. Okay. Thank you, Patrick. Let's get more calls up. This is the breakfast show. I yet to see Fandala Patrick. I know he's still with the LPP. Anyway, yeah. Let's pick this call on the line. Good morning.
Good morning, all you. And Ansu, how are you doing this morning? My name is Brandon Yoko. I call from here, the Gateway. PRO on you know, everywhere around the world, it look like a business. It look like you don't want selling the institution. But until our people in this country can understand the importance of selling the business also, so those who sell the business deserve certain profit and they deserve higher percentage because they are the ones selling the business. So you must be able to give them more percentage of what they are trying to sell. People do not respect PRO in this country because people will talk about the issue, they will sell the institution, and then what's supposed to go to the people, they will not give it to the people. And in fact, people get good businesses, schools and things, no PRO. There are some good schools in this country, but because of PRO, people don't know what the schools are doing in this country. So we hope that those who have PRO in our various institutions will be able to give them the strength and support that they need for them to be able to do their work. Or if they don't have it, they should be able to create it because they need somebody to sell the institution. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Milton. You're welcome.
Yeah.
Keep your calls coming in to 777-285-96.
Yes, what we anticipate Fandala, the thing that is happening very soon, we'll have an exclusive feature on the Liberia Football Association. The fight that's within the Liberia Football Association, the LFA, at who replaces Mustafa Raji.
The 49.
Raji I is going out for a third turn.
Okay.
Yeah, he wants to go for third turn. I mean, it's been well circulated throughout, right? Every slow went two turn by the LFA. Councilor Sumo Zeta West also went two turn, right? Musa Hassan Beloti also two turn. So the question here is, why Raji wants a third turn? In fact, do I see a qualified person to represent the LFA right now? I see him fight between Kaseko and what's this other guy name? We are, Chris We are.
Chris We are.
Yeah, so I mean for me, I'm not make that. I look to revamp that whole LFA. We'll save this for another day. Let's see. Pick up and then Patrick. Yeah, moving, walking. Yeah, morning. Good morning. Morning. O'Neill Ansu. Good morning. This is O'Neill and Ansu. You're not following up. Maga is on a leave. You still calling Maga. Maga enjoying leave after working. Remember, get fired again. Good morning. Go ahead.
Good morning.
Mo-
Let me say good morning to you, Mentor Onu O. Robert. My name is Fred Joma, and I phoned me this morning from my UT resident, to be specific, in Unification Town, Lower Maigidi, District 2. I want to speak directly to the airport boss this morning, Mr. Jerome Mesco. Mr. Mesco, you are staying some time in a particular system, and there are a lot of qualified and competent people who know the technical know-how and who are sacrificed their expertise for that airport. Today, we've understood that other people are influencing you, for the people from the system, for technical service, coming to the deputy post manager position, other position, trying to kick them away. The same way the president saw it necessary to promote you in that system, I think there is a need that the ascendancy clause be a prioritas. There are a lot of people who you work along with, and then when the airport was challenged, where the airport, with other issues, they stood by that airport, to ask salary, they make sure they sacrifice their time to be what they to make sure the airport be second to none. So I'm begging you to please prioritize the issue of welfare of the people that are working along with you. Taking people from America, bringing there, some money get agriculture, some money get
we know the Apple bus too for America. Yeah. Y'all might give people your food, all kinds of things, right?
with the wrong going, we have to speak to a people. Right now, I speak to you, there are other positions, the 30 people in right now, taking people from America, our friends, post school mates that are in the state. They're trying to bring them from there to keep people from position of payment.
I think just as zooming.
Okay.
Yeah.
Fair, thank you. I'm hearing, no, there's some information I heard from the Liberia International Airport, you know. And one good thing, Gerald Mensko, let me just say this as a close-up review, right? Gerald, whenever the media reach out to you, if you ignore us, erase our eyebrow, let me just say this, if you don't have regards for member of the fourth estate, nowhere in the world, you reach out to public officials. They will check without a response. It's a very sad and crazy thing. Let me just end on this note. XYZ been crying to send someone here. I want job, and the president appointed you. When there's important information to hear from you as part of our journalistic function, those are all they didn't eat our school fees in the cook shop. In journalism, the ABC, the accurate, the balance, and the credibility. When we hear our information outside, we just bring it to the network. In terms of balance it, that's the B part of it, right? This is when we try to reach out. Then you get to them, they will check the messages. It's like, let you go ahead. Look, now, in the past days or so, I heard a lot of things from that airport. And we'll reach out to Gerald Mesko. Gerald will give you this week or so. And we'll bring it out to the public. It will give you serious embarrassment.
They don't even know that the public
look
up to us.
Hey, man. I want job. I want job. They put you there true. Common thing. Reaching out as part of our own function. Then you ain't knowing it. What's going on? Who are you? Were you born to... Let's move on, man. Put my BP rise on. Good morning, Excellency. My president is drinking some coffee this morning. And Buck, I won't relent. I want to call on the president, please. The National Road Fund issue needs to be resolved. Folks up in the Unity Party, yes, they are certainly looking at in the way of Henry Kazulu, saying Henry Kazulu, you're having a green letter. Mr. President, since you appointed Kazulu have not seen the door of the road funds yet. It needs to be resolved. Also, at the Bureau of Concession, I will have an exclusive feature on the Bureau of Concession next week. What is happening at the National Bureau of Concession, the Bureau of Concession. The ones who will have oversight all of our investment companies and things. We'll have an exclusive on it on next week. So, Vandana Patrick is in studio already. Let's see if we can link up with him. 9:15 this morning, we'll also have the PPCC boss will be with us. This is the TBS. My name is O'Neill. And good morning to all of our lawmakers. Yes, who work in the interest of our country. In the midst of all that we do. The country first. Vandana Patrick is live of us this morning. Son of mine gave it. Use of tap rubber. Woke up 4 a.m. in the morning. Walk through the dark. Latin fires to in language of kitchen. Vandana, good morning to you. Am I wrong about the information? You tapped rubber before, right? Oh, you did it about that? Mm-hmm.
and they award them, call them up. So I wanted to be that kind of person too. I
Mm-hmm.
remember one time we were going to study in the rubber bush, and my father was like, "Go and clean the cup during the evening hour
Oh,
when
okay.
people are supposed to play." I said, "I will not do it."
Wow. They were providing food. You so eat in
Oh
the
yes,
morning, eat
I
in the evening.
think that was the end of me following in the bush.
Or you told the baby say you're
Yeah,
not
I will
going.
not do it.
I see the top rubber is so hot, you know.
No, I was not
Uh-huh.
tapping, but when they tap the rubber, there's something they call clean cup. Clean
Okay.
the cup,
Uh-huh.
that stain rubber stop after they take the first later. Sometimes it sleep, and then you have to take that rubber for new one to come in, and every time he tap, then we will clean the cup and put something they call the ammonia.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't know why is the scientific name for that, but
Mm-hmm.
it was a difficult task. So I told him I will not tap, and I remember they gave me some Holy Ghost slap and real, real, real kicking. So my aunt came around.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, if he beat this boy, he will go and live with me. So I went with
Okay.
my aunt Division 16. I was there until he said, okay, let the man come back Division 44. I will not beat him again. He will not follow me in the bush.
Okay.
So it was the end of
The junior bird, right?
yeah,
You
the
beat the
tapping.
Holy Ghost.
Great. How you doing this morning? I used to have the Librarians People Party. The Cemetery Town Council of Telongo. I used to have member of the
Of
LPP.
course, I contested on the ticket of the LPP, and I believe in the dream of the Mati Broom revolution. We are the broom.
Okay.
The kind of person Councillor Gonglo is. He's not moved by people's opinion. He believes what is entitled to you, you should have it. He works very simple. This is even during the election. I mean, he's been very humble
I
throughout
told the
his life.
council he needs
As
an
I speak,
iron broom.
now, he's
Mm-hmm.
at the Louis Adam Graham School of Law. He
Okay.
wasn't called in the. I mean, he's teaching
Okay.
like what he used to do. Is not deterred by what the outcome of the 2023 election was all about. And but I saw you making comparison and say I look like Gongro. I'm not like
No, I
Gongro.
said you walking like Telongo.
No, no, no. I don't think I walk like that.
Besides, I ain't see the broom with you. I told the council, I say, you don't need a rubber broom. Like, bro, don't need a real rubber broom. You need a real iron
No,
broom.
no, no, no. We
Mm-hmm.
need. It's a symbol. It's
Okay.
not just like going around. It's a
He's
symbol.
trying to sweep down before the stick breaks.
Oh,
That's
no,
what I'm
no, no,
thinking
no. We're not
about.
stripping. When you enter your office, we lay on the table. You know that you are supposed to do. That's why the EPS board, the vice senate bureau of the LPP, he has a broom in the office. It's a symbol. It's almost like an ideology that you believe in. Like the guy in Senegal, the current president in Senegal, he goes to work with a broom. So he's our counterpart.
Your party, you'll miss the presidency. I guess when you sit back, go back from some party meeting of you'll miss regret being voted as president. The LPP,
Oh, no, no,
Liberian people voted here, bringing on Joseph Boycott, then the LPP telling
no,
Gongolo.
they say the voice of the people is the voice of God. And I think some time ago, President Bwaka was denied by the Liberian people in 2017. I'm sure, of course, it's a hectic process. People will feel bad. People are, frustrated. Sometimes your partisans because they have high expectation. But of course, the highest decision-making body in terms of electoral processes is the Liberian people. And so they decided that this time around, even during the election, they say, Councillor Gongro, your time will come. This
Okay.
time, the JNB and JKK will win.
What's a difficult decision? Two party runs to the runoff. You had the coalition for Democratic in George Weah, a popular figure. Joseph Boyka, the LPP was the first political party and said, well, going to support the rescue mission.
I think Councillor Gonglo being a man of integrity and a Democrat, someone who subscribes to the democratic values and principles of this country, and someone who believes in consultation. It was not a unilateral decision. A meeting was called and people opinion were sought, and they say, you know what, we have seen the performance of the CDC. We have also seen how collaborating parties under the CDC were treated, and but for us, in the best interest of the Liberian people, we prefer to go with the JNB and JKK. It was not on the basis of job,
Okay.
but it was to put to rescue, to help rescue this country.
Your put pen to paper.
Pen to paper. No, I mean, it was not like, you know, when we support you, this is what we should get, this and that. We just gave a certain count that within the period of 3 or 6 months, this is what we expect.
Your party was not pushing for job after the rescue mission.
No, asking about it, there was nothing like, oh, you know, we'll support you, okay, give us this other ministry. No, they did not. You know, you should know the mayor, Councillor Gonglo. You should know him. He will never say to project himself that it's a precondition. When we support you, this is what we want.
Great. This is what we want. Let's get to business now. I guess we are making that that decision. Let's make this government. Let's support the rescue mission. Now the president won the election. He said no business as usual. You follow it up almost 4 months now.
Some businesses are going like they were.
Let's take our time.
Usual.
But then hold on. No business as usual.
No, it's not 100%.
Will be exclusive all over 100%.
No, the president, His Excellency Joseph Yuma Boaka said business will not be as usual. Am I correct?
Yeah.
I am saying some. From what we see, they are not going to be like as it used to be. But I think from other areas we see business as usual. Specifically when it comes to the appointment, that some of the appointments were good, some of them were right into the core. And because if you say business will not be as usual, for example, I like to make a reference to the Ministry of Foreign Affairs. Someone who was the Deputy Minister for Legal Affairs at the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, and there was this passport scandal, and the Director of Passport or the Department of Passports falls under the Deputy Minister for Legal. And people were suspended to the extent that the new Foreign Minister revoked all diplomatic passport and asked people to go back. But the president went, the same individual that supervised and presided over the Department of Passport when that scandal took over, the person was, reappointed in government.
At the Foreign Ministry?
Yes, you were great.
So that is no business as usual too.
No. That is a business as usual.
Okay.
So it's a contradiction on the part of the president.
At Foreign Ministry?
Oh, yes, that's what I'm saying. And that I think
but I'm seeing this is flagging just everywhere. No business as usual.
Your
past minister or true talk.
It was a political statement, but it lacks the political will.
The presidential press secretary said that to me yesterday, one-on-one. Kula Fofana said, did I ask her a question? The president still standing by the no business as usual. Yes, O'Neill.
No, I respect Kula. Of course, she speaks for the president.
I mean, she's anchoring. The president still remains no business as usual.
We have to be honest that in as much as we lack what is happening at least 2%, because it's still too early to say this government will fail, but failure starts from the beginning, not at the end. If the government will fail, you can see from the beginning, because over a period of time they will develop. You were just talking about President Weah did not reshuffle people, you will change people. But people were crying, change these people. He didn't do it.
It didn't happen.
At the end of the day, they failed.
You think President Boycott will do the same thing?
No,
yeah. I was reminding my president
can intentionally and willfully
he's the president.
Renominate an individual that was at the center of controversy at the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, when our passport, our dignity of this country, landed in the hands of deep predators, criminals, drug dealers across the country, and the president can go and reappoint that person. I don't need to say that the president was wrong. The first thing, that individual should be a subject of investigation. That's what we needed to do. Audit how it happened, because you presided over the Department of Passport. That did not happen. Another thing is that, during the previous regime, we cry on the national legislature, and that would be my focus point this morning. They appropriated some $30,000. Let's say they capture a legislative engagement under the Weah government. The very people that are in power today, we unanimously question the intent and the desire by the national legislature to have allotted 30,000 for legislative. Look at the word, legislative engagement. That is when they are going in their countries to talk to the people, they need money. But at the same time, we elected these people and we are paying them. So legislative engagement is part of their function for which they are paid for. So to go beyond and ask for $30,000 to go back and engage the people. Some of them did not even engage the people. They did not even consult them. The money was squandered. Today, the same president willfully and intentionally, without a second thought, signed the national budget where $13.2 million is allotted for the national legislature. They call it legislative projects.
Okay, I saw a post from my representative Musa Ability. He said, "Well, let's pass this one in true list. I think it would be the best."
Even
With
though,
the
hey, listen, it's a contradiction. Have you read the Local Government Act of 2018? I think some of the lawmakers who are in disagreement with me, they need to read that. It is clear. Before that act came into place, there was this issue of centralization, meaning every development was centralized around the national government or the executive branch. And many of the lawmakers were presented as insignificant individuals in terms of development because the government was taking, every project is the country. So they wanted to, have a stake because if a development is carried in a country, many of these people wanted to claim it. The way we idolize people, O'Neill Roberts and Hempom, O'Neill Robert Hall, I bid this, that is the only way doing election because this issue about tangibles. What are your tangible? I was asked many times, why are your tangible? I bid a Hempom, I bid this town hall, I bid a youth center and everything. So there was a friction when President Ellen Johnson said it was in power. They came up with this idea of county development to put the money, because that was the first point of argument. They argue the money should be given to the county so the legislative caucuses of various county and the county leadership can sit and decide what projects they want to see carried out jointly. So over a period of time, dictatorial tendency, some lawmaker will insist, I want this project to be here, and it will not go down well with other people because it has to be, implemented evenly. So that brought friction. So this idea of legislative projects, and O'Neill, with no due respect to members of the national legislature, our constitution specifies clearly the function of the national legislature, lawmaking, oversight, and representation is captured in the constitution. When I was in grade school, they told us the legislature will make the law, the executive will implement. They will tell the executive, implement. Then at the same time, when there is a conflict between the two, the judiciary will come in as a neutral body to interpret the law. Now, if you appropriate, listen to the term legislative projects, the Netherlands country. So now the Local Government Act of 2018 is clear from 2.1 all the way, I think, to 2.9. It talks about the establishment of the country's council that has a conglomeration of members from various districts. It also talks about, the country council sitting and deliberating and come up with a verdict in terms of development. So all these processes are laid down. The last time when I was on OKFM, one of the former lawmakers, he called and he said that they took a tour sometime 2013. They went across and the people said development was not reaching their districts and county, and that was true. But what is the intent? You cannot be a part of a country where we have county development. Then you approve your legislative project exclusively to be monitored and supervised by the legislators, because one legislator will carry 100,000 appropriated in the district. The senator will have 150,000. My argument and my My confusion is the fact that the legislature has not been audited.
Okay.
Lace is a toothless bulldog. Do you know? Let me say this to you. Take your microphone. Go across
Lace,
the
a
country.
formula of Pepsi. Okay.
No, I'm telling you,
What's
Lace,
heading
not
Lace?
only on the judge. We are let
No,
us not.
I'm saying now. Yes.
Let us not stigmatize.
So you need 4 audits.
No. But listen.
Back there to when now? Because
When you go back to
if we don't get
Sirleaf,
if we don't give that funding through like what Musa have said, let's pass it
but
through
listen,
this.
look.
Then what happens? The
So
lawmakers should receive the funds.
Yes, they have a history.
Okay.
The national legislature has not been audited
Okay.
for I don't know how many years.
Musa himself have been calling for audit.
He has not been. No, the fact that we'll have no reason to fear the usage of that money.
Okay.
I will have no reason to speculate.
Do you back the question? You let the lawmaker let them sign for this morning instead.
No. I don't want them to sign.
Then what
they
happened
live in the county.
Yeah.
We have the county council.
Okay.
The county council is headquarters within the county. We have the county development fund. So my argument is why this money? Because for example, my Guinea will have 800,000 going exclusively for legislative projects.
Okay.
And in law, when you say legislative projects, meaning the lawmaker will have a significant position to make because the title legislative projects. My thing is it a crime or will it be a crime if that money was allocated in the county development budget of the county for which all the lawmakers are part of the county? So do we want to be implementing a project from the county development and will be implementing another project from legislative projects? How does it relate? Then what is the significance of the Local Government Act is to avoid these things where the lawmaker will be carrying on projects, the county carrying on its projects. So bring the people together. These are the same people that passed that law, that bill into law, 2018. So today they are running away from what they established to say, no, we're taking our money, we're going to Lace. This is what can happen. They will go to Lace, they will bring their own contractors for our PPCC.
You have record on that.
Yeah, go into the country. And from my Guinea, we have almost 5 legislative projects that are not completed.
You should have a building process.
No, but nothing.
Go through the PPCC.
No, I'm telling you.
No, that tells you that PPCC also will need to be audited.
No. Listen, if PPCC can only go if they know about it. They don't know about it. Nobody knows. They lack the capacity to go all in the country to go and monitor or whether this project was that, except people take the complaint to PPCC. But you have a group of people that are striving, living in poverty and destitution.
Okay.
Do you expect them to go and challenge a city law? Because this is what usually happens. They select their own contractors. What am I saying? So go to Lango Lepe, unfinished project, multi-purpose, unfinished, but the money was disbursed.
Go after the contractors. Go after the contractors. Go through PPCC. Who did he get this contract to? I get this contract to Vandala Construction, and Vandala Construction received 15,000.
That's why I told you the LACE is a two-level door. They connive with these lawmakers. They will start the project. Lace will give 100% of that money to the contractor. The contractor received the money from the bank, go straight to the lawmaker. In some cases, they share it. I'm not saying all the lawmakers were involved in this kind of act. Some of them are very honest. And let me just make that clarity. Some of them are very honest. Majority of them, they are dishonest or they were dishonest. At the end of the day, that's why you don't see them going back.
Okay, but then let's make progress. Yes, let me bring it back. I don't know business as usual. I've thrown you all the way on the other side. With your rescue mission, you support it. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
So let's hear from you because when I speaking, that tells us indeed that you supported this president arrest indeed. I want to hear your take. Tell us your take on the president 100 days.
Yes.
The 100 days, I think there were some missteps, and my party will speak on that officially.
Your party?
Yeah, my party will speak on that.
Okay.
I met my standard bearer. I said, about 100 days has passed, Councillor. I think I met him 2 days ago. I wanted to put him on record.
You said some missteps?
Yeah, there were some missteps.
It's too soon, man. It's a bit soon, 100 days.
Oh, no, but
Musa said to me, Musa said, let's get 6 months. After 6 months, then you can start to come up.
No, listen, O'Neill, If the president can bring his own report about the 100 days,
Mm-hmm.
it put us under the moral authority to also say, okay, we listen to your report, but there are some missteps. If the president are not giving, I don't know.
Yeah,
Sorry.
yeah.
If
For
the
that
sorry,
is actually go ahead.
if the president
Yeah.
has not given
Mm-hmm.
his report about the 100 days,
Mm-hmm.
we'll have no reason to question as to whether the president
So you
has
mean
succeeded.
LPP will come up with a
Oh yes, I met the president. I met Councilor Bungalow,
okay.
and I told him clearly. I said, Council 100 days has passed. The president has given his report.
So we should
What is
wait.
the party doing? Because you also asked that within a specified period of time, you want to see our recommendations to the rescue mission, as to whether they are going to live by these recommendations as precondition that we lay down before supporting, even though they didn't ask
You
us.
supported the rescue mission. Maybe there are some area that maybe the government is not proceeding well. Maybe you could bring up ideas and say,
I
well, Mr.
think the
President.
government, I think there's no coordination among the executive branch of government.
No
There's no
coordination.
coordination. I say this:
Mhm.
if you were a teacher and you gave history test or math test, and you saw a test paper where consistent erase on the test paper, what comes to your mind? It speaks volume that either this person, they were spying, or they were disorganized, or something happened. I had a problem where people were appointed in no time. The nomination was withdrawn. It was on repeatedly. Some people were appointed to 2-3 positions as if there is no system to track. For me, I see that as a significant professional error that should not be made anywhere. That was one. The second thing, the appointment of people with conflicting characteristics in the previous government. I felt that these people should have been subject of investigation to make sure that things work in the right direction. The issue of asset declaration, you listen to some of the people from within house. The president is yet to publish his asset. I think you listen to the LACC boss. They say not more than 75% declared asset. Claude Fofana was quizzed. And interestingly, they generally asked her, have you declared your asset? She could not answer that question. So that validates the point that business is unusual. Because under George Weah, things were not as we expected it to be. So that alone, if you want to reform a system, if I was president of this country, before you can even receive your green letter, your asset declaration form and everything published in the newspaper, I want to see it. If I look at it, review it, and I'm certified, then you receive your official green letter authorizing you to go to Senate for confirmation. That did not happen. Recently, you listened to Ami Moda. I don't think he consulted, or perhaps he was overwhelmed. There was an increment in the rice. But the president met with the rice importer yesterday. My understanding is it was reduced from the previous pronouncement by the Commerce Minister, $18 to $16. There's no coordination. If there was a coordination, I am sure the Ministry of Commerce would have communicated with the presidency or the president of the Republic of Liberia on their decision. I'm sure they were going to be advised. That did not happen. In previous regime, like the CDC-led government, we saw everybody were talking. The Ministry of Information would say one thing, and then the executive would say one thing, and the party would speak.
With all these things happening, Vendetta, indeed, what you said, you supported this government. So your expectation was too high when it comes to being very, very standard. Now you are saying not in order, too much of mistakes. Do you still have the confidence? I'm not speaking, I don't want to speak for the party. I want to speak individually and for yourself. As a politician, some down for a very long time. I supported President Boaga because I look at how standard his government was coming with. Are you seeing some mistakes? Do you still believe this government?
So I'm not going to prognosticate as to what this government will do better, but I'm looking at the systems of good governance. If they are repeatedly abused and misused, then I have all reason to say, you know what, I cannot make a definite statement. I have taken a position to checkmate this government, to make sure the government lives.
But then it's too early, man.
No.
It's too
When you
early.
checkmating the government, it means
George,
you
we are 100 days, like everyone's not talking about this.
No. People should be happy that you have critical voices around, that business will not be usual, will be reminding you. Because if you are surrounded with sycophants, they will tell you everything is fine.
So every Liberian president now surrounded with sycophants.
No. I say
you're saying the same thing to George Weah. The build a bridge around George Weah is that
but it was
you have
validated
now you
by
say
the
that to the
Liberian
President
people.
Boyka.
In the 21st century, George Weah, a man who was popular in this country, won election by almost 62%. His popularity diminished in less than 6 years. That should send a clear signal that he was surrounded by bad people. If he was not surrounded by bad people, then he got overwhelmed and became oblivious of the past. We do not want this president to make similar mistakes. It's not about liking him. It's about trying to avoid the poverty, addition, and multiplication in our communities and our countries. Because you will change people. If the other people come, they do the same thing. Ching. Government, it's not just the solution. It's to work on the minds of our leaders to make sure that things are okay. I'm not saying that President Weah didn't do 100%. I like your analysis this morning. That, yes, in as much as he was retired, he did some good things. In as much as this president, His Excellency Joseph Nyuma Boaka, is in charge, he's doing some good things, but I think it's also clear to say some of the appointments were bad and rotten to the core for the president to have even signed that national budget.
Never too late.
No. I think this is why we are here to say, Mr. President, we are backing you during the recast budget. You have to go and review. The bad thing about it is that you're putting money in the hands of the predators. Like for us in Mikey, we got 2 senators that are sanctioned. In previous regime, our foreign partners, Liberia's most respected ally, the United States, asked these people that they were looting state resources, depleting state covers, while the people were walloping in poverty and destitution. For example, 800,000 United States dollars disappeared. It was intended for the construction of C.S. Rennie Hospital. Today, we are still struggling to bring these people to book. $13.2 million. When the national legislature has a history of not being audited, and you give them money and you expect us to say the projects will be implemented, some of them might intentionally and willfully choose out of the 100,000, they will spend 30,000. They keep 50,000. Or 50,000. Guess what? If they amass worth from now to the 6 years, maybe before election 2029, somebody will, based on what they are doing or what they have done in the past, somebody will be walking away with 200,000 US cash. Change that and go back. They will not have time for all in the country.
Okay.
They will start to truck from Maserado, from bombing. They have the money.
All right, we're running out of time because we have Burgess Scott Johnson, the PPCC boss, coming up at 9:15 this morning. Before we pick the lines,
I hope you should ask him as to whether.
You don't tell me my job.
No. I think I'm just
I'm sure Burgess Scott declares asset.
I'm just suggesting.
It's been almost 1 year now since July 14.
What?
So I'm sure you have declared his asset.
No, I'm not asking for declaration of asset.
As in
what are people from the district, because the legislative projects, whether they go to him, whether he's aware, what is the statistics, or because they say every contract should go through the PPCC.
Yeah.
He had. You think? Do you?
But
have,
let the best come. Don't make. This is the first interaction on the show. Yeah. So
I will call. I will monitor. I will call. But honestly, O'Neil, I think for me, I reached to a point where you have to be honest to our leaders when they are making mistakes. They don't like truth. But leaders, any leader that is willing to develop.
Why is there public officials when the media reach out to them and with some major concern, they just ignore? I mean, this is getting big disturbing.
Forget about the media.
Mm-hmm.
In the previous regime, I will not call names.
Okay.
I met some great people in the US.
Right.
Try to help them. We don't want their jobs. But the fact that I was a resident in Washington, D.C., I had a lot of connections. Call some of them, talk with them, say, oh, yes, let them send us email. O'Neill, imagine someone from the State Department communicating to a certain minister in this country. 3 weeks, they can't respond.
No.
And they will call you, Mr. Patrick's. I don't know, man. These guys are very unserious. You will write people to USAID project. You are here struggling for money. We say, look, I am not in authority, but this is my connection. You told us this connection. They will never respond to email. When you go to their offices, even when you write something important to have an audience with them, the first thing they say, oh, the guy, maybe he came to beg. The media, if you see a public official refusing to speak to the public on issue that you, as a media practitioner, has a problem with, it means they have something to have. 2, maybe they are not verbose. They don't want to speak. They want to, some people are micromanaged.
Vandana Patrick, stop talking Vandana missed the voice through the George we are 6, yeah, but when you hear Vandana Patrick, not Joseph Burger. No. This guy was incarcerated more than 2-3 times. Every time Vandana going to jail. Even that was Ellen time. Yeah, the George we are not missed Vandana voice, man.
The regime that really felt the pain. Look, hey, I say SM Vandana was here, never had access to the big guy. No, abroad.
Okay.
Sometimes the United Nations, the Washington D.C., the White House, and this and that. But I was in D.C. where I was residing. It was like 10-minute walk to the United States Capitol. When I get ready, so they'll prepare hard copies, letter, official communication from office to office. I testify in private on many occasions. I sat with members of Congress, and when I volunteer with the Congressional Black Caucus Foundation, that opened my eye to the politics of the United States and its foreign relations. It's a conglomeration of 49 members of the United States Congress, top-ranking officials. I met these people. The Cory Booker, the former, he was my mentor. He died. Or Luis, from Atlanta, Georgia. I met with a lot of people. I communicated my views. If I felt bad about the regime, I communicated with them. So I had proximity with the power that be, that had the authority to call here and instruct our official that this is wrong and they investigate. When you go issue press statement here before you read across the Atlantic Ocean and die, it may not get sense. But if I fly, I go to the British Parliament. I'm not the British Parliament. And the other day I was at the European Parliament. A very good friend of mine, graduated from how he's a top-ranking member, at the Parliament. I go there, he opened doors for me. I was vocal. In fact, we led protests against George Weah. The first protest in the U.S. I led our protest along with other Liberians.
In the U.S. Against George Weah.
I
hope you don't do so to Joseph White. The president has signed it.
I'm happy. That's why I'm saying some are good.
So the 100 days, I mean, he's making good progress.
A rights activist, this is something that we champion for. I didn't see him making a lot of publicity during the campaign, but George Weah made a lot of publicity during the campaign.
So Joseph Burger signed that. So it's got a good.
No, very good man. Very good.
So let's leave the other one and at least sign it.
No, I like to be honest. As a rights activist.
Let's leave the other one. The Burger has scored a good man. But General Patrick is our guest this morning on the Breakfast Show. 96.1 the hot. So Larry Carolina Bubla and Vandana had a scene. We get the chance, you won't take him back. Yes, very intellectual. I mean, I'm just killing it about that. Let's get the lines activated. 0770-153-265. This is the Truth Breakfast Show. My name is O'Neill. Ansu is here as well. Ansu will pick all of the calls this morning on the TBS. Yes, go ahead.
All right, so I get to the line and pick up first caller. Good morning.
Good morning. And let me say good morning to O'Neill and good morning to one of my key and my best activists in Manila. My name is Aloysius P. Jr. And I'm discussing one thing about this room. I'm listening to Manila, and in my opinion, he was
Okay. Yeah. Thank you, Aloysius. Let's do a minute, please, man. We got a
Yeah,
lot of
thank you,
calls.
Elijah.
Yeah.
Please,
Yeah. Yeah.
basic
Let's do a minute, please. I'll let you the last minute. Just ask a question.
077-285961,
Mm-hmm.
077-285961. The numbers for you to call this morning.
Yes,
And
that's
be
the
live on
yeah.
the show this morning,
Go ahead, pick head.
077-285961.
Pick this one.
Good morning.
If we are not careful, this government will be corrupt more than any other government. Because the difference is they only do their corruption in different form. First of all, they have been business as usual. The reason I say they have been business as usual, the government has started appointing foreigner into their lawful position. We all remember before we had a foreigner in position that we refused for that man to serve the election commission. Today, the government has appointed a new Kebe as ambassador at large as you exposed. That's corruption. And another thing I'm seeing here, for legislature to put $13.2 million in budget for legislative. It is bad for us. I have a teacher that will cut my salary to give it to the representative for them to go pay here for the community. So that when I go to one campaign 2029, they tell me, say, you do anything. My tax are being used by a representative to get a one point I will make to vote for them against me. This is wrong. This is corruption. We will continue to tell the team President Baka to pay further 18 to pay people in power that have the right thing to be. And we for a JMB, we know for them for a TMB in LRB.
Thank you, Mr. Red. Voted for GMB, not on CMB.
Yeah, thank you, man.
Good morning.
Yeah, go ahead.
Good morning. Go, yeah, go ahead. That's O'Neill and Ansu. Yeah, go ahead. Yeah,
Go
go
ahead.
ahead. You're live. Just be fast.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, thank you.
Yes, we will
Thank you,
have time. We have to prepare for the PPCC bus.
all
Dr.
right.
Scott Johnson at 9:15. Then they'll listen out to the few calls. Let's use at least 5
Yeah,
minutes
yeah,
to rumble
yeah.
through.
So O'Neill, it's important to be honest in this country. People are suffering. The last time I was in Grand Basel, the principal street of Grand Basel, it does not even look like a county capital. The structures are dilapidated. For example, look at the MCC school system. I want you to take your microphone, go to the MCC headquarters. The place is filthy, it's unhygienic. I'm not even talking about the schools. They appropriated $70,000 for the renovation of 25 schools, public schools. If you divide 70 by 25, it means $2,800 will go to the renovation of every school. Go to Tottenham High. If we want to build this country, that this country will be an epicenter for tourism, that people will start to come back home and say we have a government for the people, of course, then there are certain things we need to change. The lack of coordination. For example, you were at the, I think your reporters were at the media briefing yesterday at Mika. The CSA boss, he's doing a great job. Like I said, I am not here to criticize 100% to say, oh, the government is not doing well. These reform processes, the first memo he sent, accusing the Minister of Labor of illegally dismissing people, recycling them, and employing certain people, is wrong. Okay. If we should move in a direction where this government will be a reflection of the rescue mission, you cannot come here to rescue us, the people who impressing us, then you put them in your rescue team. There will be a contradiction. Secondly, you have arrest. The first thing on the arrest agenda, agriculture. Do you know the budget for agriculture? $4.3 million. The rice importers in this country. Yesterday, I was at Commerce Ministry. O'Neill, at which my phone was now off. I was going to take their photos one by one and their cars. These guys are millionaires, foreigners,
Yeah, business
taking
now.
control of Liberia's staple food. And someone will argue, no, Liberia is qualified to be one of the highest importers of our staple food in this country. That is a blatant lie. What I am even suspecting that these people have hijacked the economy. Our economy is in the hands of foreigners. President Weah said will not be spectators. But throughout the 6 years, how can you go? I like the attempt made by the president to say, look, from $18, that thing Moda did, it's not what I'm here for. It will reduce from $18 to $16. Is that the solution where you would detect? It is now time to investigate what is the root causes of people just increasing the price of rice and gasoline or petrol or whatever in this country.
You can't control what you don't
No,
grow.
we can control that.
You can't control what you don't grow.
So now,
in the Musa ability
but then the first thing Musa ability talk about, he will start growing. I think Kasawa bringing something to manufacture. He is a legislator who is intending to do that. The government can do that. You can start that. If you really mean arrest, agriculture ministry should not have $4.3 million. We are almost 5 million people in this country. So, in conclusion,
yes, let's close up.
We want to be very honest. For me, I am disappointed in the presidency for the fact that the president can sign a budget. $13.5 million is appropriated for the executive branch, or for legislative projects. When the same members of the national legislature recently said the asset, or recovery team usurps the function of the LACC. As such, money that was appropriated in that budget, it was squashed. But today, they appropriated money. I am not saying the intent is bad. I am saying the implementation process of this $13.2 million is where I have a problem, because the national legislature is now on record of being audited. Let them tell us clearly.
Okay.
In an event where there is corruption, how do we hold them accountable?
Thank you so much, Vendetta. As you close, go quickly.
Yeah.
In 30 seconds.
I just want to make this clear. I listen to people complaining about RIA. The new RIA boss, they put money on, it's James Moluba. Okay. It's not Mexico again. And we need to clear this air. Over the period of time, LAA, Liberia Aviation Authority, it is an independent body.
Who's held the Rebels International Airport?
Right now,
the managing
director is James Moluba. Is the head of the Rebels International Airport. Mexico is the head of the Liberia Aviation Authority. It supervises all the airports in the country. So by now, he should not even be at the Rebels International Airport. He needs to find his office somewhere else.
Then I see you, man.
So we just want to make that clear.
Jeremy Score. You should find his airport. You're quite near James Springfield and the RIA.
Yeah, he should supervise them.
Supervise.
He should not sit down at Rabat International Airport anymore. Jim is the legitimate port manager.
James Moluba.
Yeah, James Moluba. Very honest.
James Moluba. Don't blow his own horn. James Moluba.
This is a man, I know he's the head for Green City, Rebellion.
You have knowledge on aviation.
Excellent. I can tell you. All the people there. Listen, where I was talking about my good friend and brother, Stephen Johnson.
How are you blowing your own? Anyway, let's make room for the PPCC boss. Thank you so much, Vandana Patrick. Thank you so much.
Yeah, I appreciate you so much. And then we'll come back. I'm not blowing anybody.
Vandana Patrick here. Let's get a break, folks. This is the True Breakfast Show that is 641. The heart and soul of Liberia. Let's get a break. We'll come back. We'll bring on the PPCC boss right here on the last segment of the TBS. Don't go away. Yes. Fascio 9641, the heart and soul of Liberia. Yes, let's look at link up with our guests this morning. As promised, we have the folks from the Public Procurement Concessions Commission, for short we'll say the PPCC, live with us, headed by the boss, Roger Scott Johnson, this executive director, Hamin Lamford, director of compliance, and of course, Nathan Banky, director of communications, live with us this morning. Good morning to all of you in there. Welcome to the TBS. How are you doing it?
Good morning, sir.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Okay, let's do a roundtable now for the benefit of the listener.
Okay, I'm Himian Eugene Langford, the Director of Compliance and Monitoring.
Okay. I think Mr. Johnson is
I'm Roger Scott Johnson, the Executive Director of PPCC.
Okay, my name is Ezekiel Obazele. I'm the consultant and project manager for EGP.
Okay. Yes, I hope, yes, he's struggling to get us. So let's see if we can adjust with this shortly. Then we see we can have an on this morning. Are you getting me now?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay, great. Yes, how is the PPCC? Someone's listening up to you.
It's kind of echoing.
Yes, how is the PPCC?
We are doing extremely well at PPCC. Extremely well at PPCC. We are currently on the road to do awareness regarding the e-procurement that we are about to roll out for the first time in this country.
Yes, we'll get to that. I'm just asking for the overview. How is it? How is everything going on?
Well, everything is fine.
This is your first appearance of me. That's what I'm asking.
Yeah, first of all, I want to say good morning again, and I want to say thanks for having us at the station. True FM. It's my first time coming to your station. I want to say thanks for giving us the opportunity to come here and talk about issues regarding the e-procurement and the situation around PPCC.
Okay, great. So, Liberians, folks, the PPCC is about to launch something very massive. You term it the electronic government procurement, the EGP system. It's a first of its kind. You care to talk about it?
Yes. The Public Procurement and Concession Commission is getting close to conducting development of a robust electronic government e-procurement system for the first time in Liberia. We have an international software developer called European Dynamics that was contracted by PPCC to develop the EGP system on a software as a service model. The development of the system will be done in phases. We have phase 1, phase 2, and phase 3. The first phase is the modernization of the system, and that will include go live sometime this year in September. And the effort is to include, in the piloting process, 6 government ministries, agencies, and commissions. And those 6 entities are the Ministry of Finance and Development Planning, the Ministry of Health, the Ministry of Education, the Ministry of Public Works, the LRA, now it's called, and of course, PPCC. And then in the second phase, we do intend to expand the system to 50 additional institutions of government. And that is geared towards increasing effectiveness, efficiency, and ensuring value for money in public procurement. And then the third phase is the actual modernization of the system, and where we bring every government entity on board. And eventually, the system will be done to give our country a new day in the procurement system in this country. And e-procurement means you can be anywhere in the world. Once you have a password, your system, your vendor, we also have who to train it to. You can log into the system, you can see government tender, you can see who won the bid. You can also see procurement plans for every government entity. For example, let's say this year, what the Ministry of Public Works or Ministry of Health is doing for the next 12 months. You see the procurement plan, what they intend to buy as it relates to goods and services. You see everything on the plan, from the get-go. You see that at the beginning of the year. So if you're a vendor and you register PPCC, you can go there and see, hey, maybe into catering or maybe into cleaning services, or you need to something. You see everything the Ministry of Health is doing for the next 12 months. You can go in the system.
Yes, so
it's very transparent. And
yes, it all balances around transparency. So let's take our time. This is something very new to the public. Let's look at phase 1. Let's do it phase by phase. I mean, you outline from phase 1 to phase 3. let's take our time. Let's look at the importance of phase one. Take a time. It's new to introduce a new thing. It's not something easy in our country.
Oh, yeah.
Yes, yes, very well. So let's look at phase one. See, maybe a compliance guy can come in, or but let's look at phase one first.
Right.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
During phase one, we intend to have a lot of trainings. So we have training of trainers workshops for our staff in the compliance division, and then they will also be training for people who are procurement practitioners and decision makers in the 6 marks that we are going to
Okay.
roll the system out to. Additionally, we intend to have some change management sessions where we are going to hire a firm that will allow our people to embrace the system, because there's always resistance to change, especially when it comes to technology. So with the adequate training and then making people mindset at ease, we expect that the system will be accepted. Also, we intend during the rollout to assess the various marks that will be enrolled. Uh, that include seeing whether they are logistic ready, or whether they are knowledge ready to accept this system. So with money from the World Bank, we intend to procure uh, computers, intend to procure scanners and other tools that will be using. We know that internet and current electricity is a problem in our country right now. So we are looking at all of those things that will make it a challenge to roll out the system, and we intend to give some assistance in such direction.
Okay, that is phase one. Let's go to phase two of this whole project. Yes, let's look at phase two. I want you because the listening audience. I mean, you have the Ministry of Finance, the Ministry of Health, all listed, but ordinary librarians are so concerned. So this is something very new. So, Mr. Bocha, you want to talk about phase two? Let's take our time. Yes.
Okay, let me,
Uh-huh.
let me just give you a background,
Mm-hmm.
a little background information here.
Mm-hmm.
The reason why phase one have those 6 marks, because normally they are big spenders in government.
Okay.
The Ministry of Public Works,
Mm-hmm.
big spender. Ministry of Health, big spender. Ministry of Education, big spender. Ministry of Finance, big spender. The LRA bring the revenue in,
Big one.
so we got to bring it on too, and then that was got to. So basically, in phase two,
Mm-hmm.
we do intend to bring along 50 government
So
institutions.
phase two.
50 institutions.
Okay.
And phase two will commence sometime in the early part of next year.
Okay.
This year in September, we are launching phase one.
Okay. So phase one will capture these the six
And
marks.
we do
Okay.
intend to add a
Uh-huh.
7 marks there. That's the Ministry of State. We're looking for the political buy-in
Mm-hmm.
by the Office of the President. And I must be thankful here. The Office of the President has been very supportive of this the e-procurement effort.
Okay.
I've had a serious discussion with the Minister of State. They're very supportive. And the reason why we're trying to get the Ministry of State into this,
Mm-hmm.
for that political buy-in to support this project so that across government will now have this transparency when it comes to procurement. That's the whole
Wow.
idea. So we bring it on. There may be a 7 mark or 7 entity out. That'll be the Ministry of State.
Okay.
Okay, for that
Great.
political buy.
Let's go. I think he's a compliance officer, right?
He's my our consultant. I'm
Okay,
responsible for
consultant.
consulting.
Okay. In terms of compliance, I'm some concerned. Bringing this is a very good idea. Let's look at the compliance aspect of it. What happens?
The director will speak to that.
Okay. Yes.
Okay, so currently we have issues with public procuring entity submitting quarterly procurement plan. I mean, quarterly procurement reports,
Mm-hmm.
or even the point like last year, we had about 70% compliance with procurement planning. So we believe that with the advent of the electronic government procurement, that compliance to procurement planning will be as high as 100%. And procurement reporting also, because we intend that when this system is rolled out completely,
Mm-hmm.
that the system will tabulate those transactions that will give us a yearly statistic of what is going on, what we're spending, and what kind of methods we are using, and the amount that we are using such method for. So those are information that are important to our external stakeholder like the IMF, the World Bank, and even the government of Liberia.
Okay. Yes, let's look at how soon will this EGP system be available. Yes, the official launch. You have a time frame set for this?
We're gonna do a test draft
Mhm.
next month in June, and then we do intend to roll it out in September of this year.
Okay.
But let me just turn over to my consultant, who will just give you a little bit of insights related to some technical issues of this system and the benefit it brings to our country. So he's
Okay.
going to come.
Thank you very much, the Executive Director. Good morning, everyone. So when you talk about e-government procurement system, it's actually a tech-based system that supports the whole procurement process. Procurement on its own, it's a business management function that supports the acquisition of goods, works, and services following predefined steps. And these steps include planning, tendering, evaluation, award, and contract management.
Mhm.
So having all of these manually done processes
Mhm.
captured in electronic form helps to ensure data management, availability of data, like Mr. Lamford earlier said,
Mhm.
that having these reports consolidated in a system provides seamless access to this information. It ensures transparency, which somehow reduces corruption.
Okay.
So the benefits of e-procurement it's quite enormous, and with the hope that on implementing this EGP and the adoption of the EGP, the
Okay.
Liberian government will experience some level of transparency in how public procurement is consummated. As regards when we're going live, the Liberia EGP system should be going live come September.
September.
Yes,
Okay.
September this year. There are a series of activities that have been lined up for.
Is it a testing thing or
So the testing
the
is
test
happening in June.
in
That's
June?
next month.
Okay.
So it happens next month, and then we'll be the training of the users on how to use the system should be done in August before going live in
Before
September.
live.
Before
Yeah.
going live in
Okay.
September.
What's the feedback from these six institution? What have you gotten from that?
Oh, we
The
had a
information have gone out to them
yes.
already. Now the PBCC wants to introduce something new. What's the feedback like?
Yeah, I have a very great meeting with the head of LRA, Mr. Jala. We had a
Okay.
very good exchange. He embraced the idea. He
Mhm.
supported 100%. I also had a very good meeting with the Minister of Health. She also embraced the idea, and she's looking forward to this.
Mhm.
I had a discussion with the management team at the Ministry of Finance. They also
Okay.
embraced the idea. We have to
Mhm.
work on some technicalities on this, so they are all on board with this.
Mhm.
I think the whole issue of that make noise around procurement, this and that, the transparency is not coming to Liberia. Because we're the only country within a sub-region that don't have an e-procurement system.
Donors sends the money, the eyes.
So that is,
Donors normally send funds. So when this system is introduced, the donor themselves will not come out with their own report, after a year or so, making
no,
it transparent.
no, make them transparent.
Hmm.
And I must say also thanks to the World Bank. The World
Okay.
Bank has been very supportive of
In
this.
terms of fundings.
In terms of funding, if I didn't want funding,
Okay.
there's a private project for us for the government. The World Bank has invested about
Mm-hmm.
$3 to $4 million on this thing. In this phase, and then the second phase too, they bring in more funding. We're going to have the great project. Like I said, Mr. Len, from our director, said we are going to train. There will be a lot of training going on. We're going to train procurement or directors, procurement or specialists for entities that will come to PPCC for training. We'll train them. They will deploy them back to the entities along with a laptop, a printer, and a scanner. So you have no excuse to say you can upload document in the system because you don't have a scanner.
Okay.
The issue of connectivity, because it's a cloud-based system. Okay, and then my consultant will speak to that. It's a cloud-based system. It's not no server sitting at PBCC. So
Okay.
once you have internet connectivity, you should be able to
Mhm.
get online and be able to upload the system. So the public also can see. Let's say your civil society organization want to hold government accountable. You can come to PBCC. We can give you a user ID and a password. You can log on and see procurement plans for entity. You will see procurement reports coming in quarterly. These are
Mhm.
quarterly reports that come to PBCC. So nothing will be hidden. Everything will be out there for people to see it, see the process, how the process go for the
Okay.
most part. So we've been on the road making the awareness. You will see billboards in the street. You see, we'll have jingles on the radio. There will be more.
We yet to play some, yeah, yes.
Yeah, we'll get you involved in that. We'll come give you
Okay.
some little business on finger jingles for us
Okay.
your airtime period for the most
Okay.
part.
Great. I'm just thinking about, is there a benefit? What's the benefit like of e-procurement system?
Okay.
Go
Yes.
ahead,
Yeah,
man.
maybe the
All right.
special
So
consultant will
the
talk about
e-procurement system comes with a lot of benefits.
it.
One, transparency. With the readily available data for both the system users and the guests to access, you can easily query if there are any form of discrepancies or variance in how the data are being published.
Mhm,
So transparency, it's sure. Accountability,
mhm,
because there will be audit trail for every action that an officer carries out on the system. You can easily tell who initiated that task and
okay.
who consummated the task.
Mhm,
So accountability will be guaranteed on the use of EGP. Value for money, it promotes competition in the sense that you don't have to come to any procuring entity for you to submit your bid.
mhm,
With you having registered on the system, having access to your dashboard and everything,
okay.
you can tender anywhere in the world as long as you are registered on the EGP system. So this is going to encourage competition. In situations where only two tenders are received for procurement processes,
Mhm,
with the tenders being made publicly known to everyone
mhm,
and you can access it from anywhere in the world, you can participate in the bidding process. And you know that competition, in a way, encourages value for money. When you have a lot of people competing for a particular procurement, there is every tendency that you will get the best out of that procurement process. So, the most critical aspect of human interference in public procurement will be addressed because it's going to be a system based procurement process. And this will sure reduce to some extent the level of corruption in public procurement practices. All these benefits comes with the implementation of EGP.
okay.
And it also, out of that, it also save the you save resources, okay, in the country because now you see your procurement plans uploaded online. They come to us. It save you time to coming back and forth to PPCC. You don't have to. It takes away that human interaction. So you create transparency. So you
Okay.
won't say somebody came to PPCC, they saw it. No, you upload your stuff. It's a public document.
Mhm,
Everybody sees.
mhm,
We'll go through the bidding process. You will know who won the bid. When they put a tender order from the ministry, you see who won the tender.
mhm.
Everything will be transparent. So there'll be no argument again to say, oh, we don't know who won this, but how they got person on this contract. You see the entire process from the contract or evaluation. Everything will go through to contract awarding. You will see all of those things online.
Okay.
That's the whole idea.
Okay.
And additionally, we expect that the processes will become fairer. Also, the compliance of procuring entities will be improved because now PPCC will have direct oversight. A person will be felt because everything that we do will be online. It's like we'll be right over their shoulders.
Okay.
But let me
Great.
just
Uh-huh.
add one
Mhm,
major thing that
mhm,
I must say. We are currently reviewing the act.
mhm.
Every 10 years, the PPCC Act is have to go for revision.
You're reviewing it
Review the act, and then you
with a
have
team of lawyers?
a team of lawyers. So
Okay.
as we speak right now, in our current act, there is no e-procurement.
No
To
e-procurement.
make the e-procurement bounding, to
Mhm,
make a legal instrument
mhm.
within PPCC, we must go through revising the act, sending to the lawmakers
To
for the
pass it
passing
into
as
law
law.
or
Yes.
become a law.
So that nobody can challenge the fact to see because when it becomes law now,
Mhm,
and you can't come to PPCC now with mama paperwork. No, you must go through the system. I know there'll be challenges initially.
mhm.
There will be challenges. There will
So
be
you have a
because
team of lawyers working
I will speak
effectively.
right now. A team
Mhm,
of lawyers are sitting there to complete the process. We went through the validation process.
mhm,
We're in the counties. We came the last one in Morado County,
mhm.
and so now we are in the final stages of form or having a holistic document as relates to the law. So I have a team of lawyers that are sitting now at the hotel now in Morovia, where they're compiling the entire document as relates to the whole law. And after that, I will submit that to the board. The
Mhm,
board have been very supportive of the initiative also. And then from the board, it goes to the office of the president, and
mhm.
the president sends it for all transmission to the lawmakers, and then it becomes law. When it becomes law, and then the whole thing is bounding to speak my number. We're working on that very aggressively.
You're working on that. This is something very new. In terms of challenges, what are some of the challenges? You want to introduce something very new to the public in our country. I mean, other countries have such. This is something new. Like you talk about challenges, one or two that's holding there, making the process a little bit slow. Maybe you have a time frame which you hit this in 1 month, in 3 months, in
No,
5 months. It's holding back.
yeah, I think my consultant was picking up. I don't think we're having a major. We initially were struggling with some issues as relates to getting IP addresses and APIs and integrating it to speak to, because we have to get the Library Based Registration on board.
Okay.
We have to get LRA on board. We have to get NASCO on board. Those entities are entities where you're doing business in Liberia. You might have a business registration. You might have an LRA clearance. You also have your NASCO stuff. So we have to bring those on board for vendors or contractors, so that when you go in the system, it tells them to say, oh, you qualify, you're in good standing with government as it relates to all your regulations. So we're making sure that those things happen. And we learned when we went to, we did a study tour. We went to Nigeria,
Okay.
to Lagos, and we saw how the system worked. Lagos State is a big government state, one of the big government, one of the big state in Nigeria, and they have e-procurement. When they started initially, they only started with 4 entities. Today, in the first phase of their own project, today they have about 140 of
Yeah.
all the government entity in Lagos State on board in the e-procurement.
Mhm.
Then we also visited another state in Nigeria called Edo. We went to Edo. We saw the system too. In fact, the very company that built our system is the same company Edo or the e-procurement platform.
Okay.
And so I had a meeting with the governor of that state, and he said that when they launched e-procurement, bam, they saw the sudden change in the revenue, in the way business are done in the state. It was a big change for them as well. It could state the economy as well. Listen to that.
Okay. Great. Let's get some reaction from the public. I mean, as you guys sit back and listen up, let's get some reaction from the public. He's Scott Johnson, Brother Scott Johnson is the executive director of the PPCC. Hamin E. Lanford, director of compliance. Nathan Bengu, director of communication. With us this morning, and of course, the special consultant Ezekiel Obizia. Hope I got his name. Yes, great. 0777 077 10265. Call us if you live. Let's hear from you, introducing something very new. Yes, it all boils around transparency. Yes, 0777 Let's ask just exclusively on this new system that will be introduced to the public very very soon. Let's get some reaction from the public right now. 0777 077 Let's get our first call on the line. Yes, so you pick the calls up.
Good morning.
Good
Good
morning.
morning.
Good morning.
Yeah, go ahead. Wow, he's
You calling from okay?
He's 0777
Let's pick this person
285
on line
Do you have a
2,
call?
right? Yes. This person going through. Yes. Morning. Morning. Go ahead. Go ahead.
Wait, please.
Mhm. Thank you. Said the miss a PVCC way.
Yeah, thanks for calling.
Yes.
You have a call.
Yes, go ahead.
0777 285 961. Number for you to call right here is 077-285-961. Calls and be live on the program. If they are listening now, we have a caller right here. Good morning. Go ahead, sir.
Yeah, person.
Okay, thank
Okay.
you. Anyway, come
Thank
on,
you.
man. Let's pick
Yeah.
another call line. The lines banking back to back. This person is coming through this morning. Good morning. You calling from what? Nimba? Okay, okay, Nimba P. Nimba County. Go ahead. Okay. Yeah, that's why Truth FM will covers District 7, District 7. That's 96.9. You're listening to in District 7, right? Okay. Thank you so much. Yes, people calls up, Ansu. Thank you.
Good
Thank you.
morning. Yes, sir. Go ahead. Okay.
Okay.
All right.
Superintendent.
All right. Yeah.
Thank you. Let's
Thank
take two.
you.
Let's take two more. Go back to our guests. If there's no true, yes, you listen up to the callers. I mean, there are others who are texting. Yes.
Oh,
Yeah. Go ahead.
the last call I was speaking about, then the first one just talking about creating awareness,
Mhm.
and people don't know about PPCC.
Yeah. Some makes
So
sense. Say PCC.
yeah, so we will try to we're going to have um, an awareness campaign. I agree with that call. We're going to have an awareness campaign throughout the country. A couple of months ago, our team were in the counties to do all the procurement awareness in the various counties. They went to local community colleges, technical colleges in the counties, and they met with stakeholders in the counties where they did awareness on the procurement process in this country. So we're doing those things, but we need to have more eye-catching awareness as it relates to having billboards in the street and having a advertisement on the radio than be what PPCC stands for. And so now that we're launching new procurement that will be so transparent to the public, I think it's very important that we use the print media, we use the electronic media, bloggers, social media, and the rest of it to create that awareness for the commission as relates to the thing we do at PPCC. Yeah, I mean, I agree with that call. Okay. And then I think the other caller spoke about guarantee or substituting the system. How it's
Hmm.
going to get along. I didn't get his question too clear. But I think we also we're gonna bring the system to the various countries eventually. Maybe in the second round, the third round, in the second phase. I mean, the third phase, they will all come along.
And
Yes.
also, we are not forgetting about the private sector. We are going to meet with businesses, especially starting with the first six max that will be piloted. We are going to get all the suppliers, the contractors to be brought on the systems. So that means that we are going to train them also. So the private sector will have continuous training. Like the executive director said, we did go to 4 counties last month. We did not only speak on a compliance issue, but we did inform them of the EGP system and the rollout. We also met with people in Akaisha intellectual centers, apart from the community colleges that we visited. So gradually, and when the great project, the new uh, grand project that they're working will be rolling out, come on board, we have enough funding to even build procurement hubs at our county service centers, where and then give training for any owner, internet cafe owner to help businesses to also use our system.
Yes, great. Yes, let's hope they'll make this regularly. And
No, for sure. Keep
I'll
on
be
giving
seeing.
will come more
Yes.
often so we can
Mm-hmm.
create the awareness to the public.
Okay. In terms of following up, you talk about training. When do you hope to start some training for the first phase one, Ministries Finance, Ministry of Health, Public Works, the LRA, the Ministry of Education, and of course the PBCs himself. When do you hope to kick off the first batch of training?
We talked about.
Maybe the consultant can
Okay.
speak on that. Yeah.
So as part of our the project plan, we had scheduled training to occur around August. So by August, we'll start having hands-on training for these system users of the 6 marks. Hands-on training will be done to take them through the module by module so they know at every time what is required of them to be done. We'll structure the training in such a way that it will be task-based training. It will be training for this particular group of persons who will be doing this particular task on the system,
Mm-hmm.
and that way we'll be able to master what you are required to do on the EGP system. So come August, we'll be having hands-on training for the system users including those vendors. You also understand that if you have an EGP system
Mm-hmm.
that only users from the marks are involving or interacting with the system,
Okay.
you can't really have procurement per se. Procurement requires the vendors, the contracting public, to be able to use the system too. So
Mm-hmm.
the training is going to be is structured in such a way that both the system users from the marks will be trained and all identified vendors will be trained on how to use the electronic government procurement system. That way we can guarantee sustainability as well. If everyone is knowledgeable about what they are required to do on the system and they get to really love what the system brings on board, the sustainability of that system is guaranteed.
The
The
effectiveness.
effectiveness,
Uh-huh. In terms of you can set up a very good system. In terms of effectiveness, well, people start to complain with the system, trying to have access. I'm not going through. Let's go
okay.
the effectiveness.
Okay, so as regards effectiveness of the system, you can be rest assured that I haven't taken this long time to define the system requirement specification of the EGP that fits the Liberian public procurement system perfectly. We also took our time to set up a help desk.
Okay.
Yeah, we understand technology is a bit strange. It's a bit new in Africa. Some persons will struggle with what they don't really understand.
Mm-hmm.
At the PPC, we're looking to set up a help desk where anyone who is having such difficulty in conducting any task
Okay.
can actually reach out to for support.
Mm-hmm.
There'll be pragmatic support readily available for system users at the PPCC. And this will be very, very sure that it will enhance effectiveness of the use of the system.
All right.
To
Mm-hmm.
more or less to add to what you just said,
Mm-hmm.
the launch of this system will definitely change the narrative of procurement in this country.
Mm.
Definitely. The argument out there say, oh, we don't see what government doing, we don't see what people buying. Maybe the procurement director from maybe Ministry of Health will call your friends and people get something. I think I'm or can bid on it. No, it won't be like that. Everything be transparent.
Okay.
If you have an internet, if you have a laptop, you can go and bid on stuff. Because people complain and say, oh, I don't know what's going on. I'm a business person. And the whole thing that you said, the vendors will have to come to PPCC. They
Mm-hmm.
will have to register with us.
Okay.
They will have to sign what will give them a user ID and a password.
Mm-hmm.
And to do that, all your certifications should be intact for the business registration, for LRA and NASCO. Then you come to PPCC. Definitely, we give you that user ID. You can sit in the comfort of your home, go on the internet, and look at what's happening. Let's say you're a catering person, for example. A woman who will say, "Oh, I know who's in catering business at the Ministry of Health, and then my catering company, you can go there, you see Ministry of Health get a catering for this year. You can bid on that tender and say, okay, at least I see something happen in my government.
Make the jingles available.
We
So
will
the
definitely do
ordinary
that.
librarians will benefit from the
We
system.
definitely do that, and that's the whole idea because ordinary people don't know what's happening. Let's say LRA get a cleaning tender company, the indoor cleaning bit, they don't even know what's happening.
Someone is listening in by in Bombay, in
Exactly.
Granji,
So
they say they're
you
both
can
doing
have
their own thing
you
there.
can have somebody who maybe John Frumo living in Bond County, he can bid on a tender, the Ministry of Finance having to just do cleaning services.
Okay.
You see those kind of things on the website. So you can go and bid. So it's definitely going to change the narrative of procurement in this country. If we put our mind to this, you see value for money, you see transparency, and all the argument, oh, I didn't see this, the person gave it to this, all of that will stop. Because you see it for yourself.
Okay.
And in addition, the good thing about the EGB system,
That's a closing partner statement for your own end.
Say that again?
That the director of compliance, right?
Yeah, the director of compliance.
Of compliance. Yeah, I mean you're closing up now. Yes,
okay,
yes, go ahead.
okay, one good thing is that the system will also be mobile friendly. So a small business owner may not have a computer, he may have a tablet or a smartphone, can log onto the system. So it's not just computer. You got a smartphone. You have a tablet. You are also available to log on. So we just say thanks for the time we've had, and I hope that our message will go across, and we all will benefit from the EGP platform.
But let me give my closing.
Yeah, no, you will be the last. Ezekiel, let's hear from you.
So, e-procurement is a very beautiful thing. At the point where we go live, you will see that everybody will be happy with the fact that whatever was giving them difficulty in participating in public tendering before, it's now made simplified by the implementation of EGP. So this is something to look forward to, and thank you very much for having us here today.
Yes, Roger Scott Johnson.
I want to say thanks, sir. And in my closing statement, I will say that it's indeed a new day for our country. We went through successful peaceful elections. We transitioned. Our politics now matured, and we must be. We also people should be proud of ourselves that we did something great. And now the next step now is how do we govern, make this place more governable and peaceful, and get away of corruption. I think we should all embrace this idea of transparency in the procurement space, in the procurement processes. It's very important for us, as a country, because as we go through all these different development goals and agenda, you know that about 40% of the national budget is spent on procurement, and globally, about 80%, 80 to 90% of corruption in government staff on procurement globally around the world. There's a book I read called "The Last Bridge to Nowhere." We tell you about the whole corruption scandal in America in the state of Alaska, where people just they want $1 trillion in procurement. So this system being introduced will definitely change the dynamics, change the narrative. I want to say thanks to the office of the president. They've been very supportive. Excellency Joseph Newman Boyka, they've been very supportive of this. I want to also say thanks to the board, PBCC, board headed by Honorable Roosevelt Woods, who's the chairman of the board. And I want to say thanks to the development partners, the World Bank, the African Development Bank, the United Nations, USAID. They have been very supportive to make sure that this thing goes. And also the IMF. The IMF is also holding us accountable as we list the procurement report. Because when we can show procurement report, it means that government spending the money the right way. We got no funding from the IMF. So I want to say thanks to the general public. I want to say thanks for your time. And we appreciate. We're certainly come back with jingles to your station to give you some business. And the rest of it, we appreciate
We'll cover the whole country. In fact.
Thanks to all our viewers of the radio link. It's a new day for us.
Yeah, so folks, this is how go home on the breakfast show. Introducing the electronic government procurement system is the EGP system. Yes, will of course be introduced very soon. Electronic procurement offers significant advantage over traditional procurement methods, such as savings, process efficiency, improved supply management. Thank you so much. I'll be back on tomorrow on behalf of the team. Ansu Sirleaf. My name is O'Neill. Say have a blessed